Today, Bermuda-fitted dinghy races are followed by hundreds of supporters, with 5 Bermuda-fitted dinghy syndicates keeping up the tradition. They're still following the 1840s set of rules established in Bermuda, which is recognized by the New York Yacht Club. Up until the 1950s, the traditional Bermuda-fitted dinghies were designed and locally built. More recently, the healthy rebirth of the sport has seen old dinghies being rebuilt and new ones built, both in Bermuda and in overseas shipyards. This class of boat and the fitted dinghy race itself is totally unique to Bermuda.
I think the Bermuda rig was adopted to go on these boats, and each boat has usually three masts, 4 suits of sails for different wind, and there will be different booms and bowsprits and so on like that. And you put on the suit of sails that are equivalent to what the breeze is on the day you're sailing. And you could sail one race with one suit on, and if the wind came in or died out for the second one, we would change.
Those boats have a very, very large sail area on them, actually too much sail area for that size boat. So that's really the challenge in the design of the boat.
The general rules are still in place with regards to the building of and what have you. For instance, you won't find many boats built today that have a wooden mast, spar. But the tradition continues with the fitted dinghies with their wooden booms, spars, bowsprits, spinnaker poles.
Typical features of it are a center of gravity greatly enhanced through the deep plate iron, very lofty rig, very over canvassed, and they used racing rules and still do that the rest of the racing world stopped using in about 1880.
You have 6 or 7 crew in the boats, and the difficulty is to get them all to going upwind, tack in unison, all moving from one side of the boat to the other without getting in each other's way. And then you have backstays which have to be adjusted. One side has to be released, the other one taken up. If you miss it, your boom hits the backstay that's not let go and you capsize.
So everybody really has to know their job. Otherwise, really, you sink. And that's quite a unique feature about dinghy races. It's probably one of the few classes in the world I've seen where it's all about staying afloat, you know.
It gets very complicated with 6 people in the boat and all of them trying to do their own job, and each one does have a specific job. One on the jib, one on the main, then the 2 guys who run the spinnaker, and then we have the guy who releases the backstay and takes up the backstay, and then we have a bailer. The guy who is the most important guy in the boat is the bailer. He keeps us afloat.
And usually your first experience in the dinghy is actually just the guy that bails water out the side and makes sure it doesn't sink. So you definitely kind of move up the ranks in a dinghy.
And anybody who sailed, a couple of those rules are, one, that you have to finish with the same number of crew you start with. In fitted dinghies, you can actually jettison crew and use them as propulsion. So if the wind gets light, you push the big boys overboard.
Sometimes on the first windward leg, they find out that for the amount of sail we have on, that we could get rid of one of the crew members. He dives off the stern of the boat, and they go on with 5. And it has been known at the end of a race, when you're getting towards the finish line, if it's very close, that I have seen the days when 4 crew members have all dived off the stern of the boat and left the skipper in there by himself, wobbling back and forwards to keep it afloat. So I'm waiting for them to swim across the line, because the boat has gone across the line, to grip hold by it and get back in it before it sinks. It gets quite hilarious.
Another very unique feature at a dinghy race is the stake boat. No other race on the water uses a boat like this one to start the races.
The start of a race is different from normal sailing races in that we do not have a starting line. We do have a finish line, but we all start parked alongside a stake boat. It's called a Le Mans type start.
The stake boat goes out and under the direction of the chairman who's running the races, he drops anchor and becomes the start vessel and also the leeward mark. Because the other dinghies would come and they have two long pieces of rope on either side of the stake boat where the dinghies can hang on to. Because they're all racing under a handicap. They can't all start at the same time. And due to the handicap system, one dinghy starts first, and another one second, and the chap on board the stake boat calls out, you know, number 3 go, number 4 go, or something like that, to start the race. And that's the stake boat right there, and it stays there all the time.